Hello, hello, hello! My name is Tamarina Sims, and in today's video I will give you detailed information about the genetics and the goals for Generation 1 in the beginninghood of Pleasantview. Generation 1 started with 31 Sims in 15 households. The Goff household is the only with 3 Sims, and Samuel Goff is the only unmarried Sim. His partner joins in Generation 2 when he is a bit older. We will now have a look at the genetics for these 31 Sims, then we will have a little sneak peek into the genetics of the in-game born 10 children. Then I will show you the aspirations and hobbies for these Sims. And last we will have a look at their families. A short disclaimer, I don't use any mods to change the in-game genetic system, only defaults for skin tone, eye color and custom hair. First, the skin tone. Most Sims, 10, have the light skin tone, followed by 9 Sims with medium skin tone. Then we have 6 Sims with medium dark and dark skin tone. I can't wait to compare this data with the future generation. Next, the eye color. This looks a little bit more interesting. There are 11 Sims with brown eyes, 8 with dark blue eyes, then there are 5 Sims with green eyes, 4 with grey eye coloring, and last, which I didn't expect, only 3 Sims with light blue eyes. So I looked up who these 3 Sims are, and these are Samuel Goff, Bob Senior Newbie and Bruno Rockburn. I hope this eye color won't extinct, so fingers crossed. We are now with the statistics about hair color, and no surprises, 16 Sims have black hair. This is half of the neighborhood. 25% are at least blonde, means 8 Sims. Then we have 5 brown-haired Sims and the 2 famous Sims with red hair, Less Pleasant and Irma Oldie. Irma will produce Herb Oldie, who will then adopt Mary Sue, so the genetics in this family won't proceed through Mary Sue. That means Less Pleasant hair color will be the source for Daniel, Angela and Lilith's hair. In the future we will see if that really happens. In summary, Generation 1 is light-skinned, brown-eyed and black-haired, though if I filter those 3 categories in my spreadsheet, there is only one Sim that has this exact combination. Simon Crumblebutton. We are going on and comparing the Generation 1 Sims with the already 10 born Generation 2 Sims. So keep in mind, Generation 2 is a work in progress and this data will change. 17 Generation 2 babies need to be born and there are already additional babies born. And later on, there will be bin families added. That will join Generation 2 when it is grown up. However, this little sneak peek is quite interesting and might give you a lookout on what to expect. While in Generation 1 the light and medium skin tone is mostly spreaded, in Generation 2 there are only 2 babies born yet with light skin tone, and the medium one becomes the most inherited one. 3 Sims inherited the dark tone, and we are completely missing the medium dark one. The inherited eye color are even more interesting. From previously 11 brown-eyed Sims, only 2 babies kept the brown eye color. Dark blue is leading with 4 babies, 1 inherited green, grey is missing. However, 3 kids inherited the light blue eyes. The light blue color managed to grow by 100% and makes now a total of 6 Sims having that color. Like I previously said, Samuel Goff, Bob Senior Newbie and Bruno Rockburn have light blue eyes. However, Samuel doesn't have kids and for the challenge he won't have any. Though Bob and Bruno have kids and Bob's daughter inherited his light blue eyes. Unfortunately, she is an additional Sim. Her twin brother is the needed ancestor, but he has the light blue eye color hidden as recessive gene. Bruno has 2 boys, Carl and Clifford, who both inherited the light blue eyes. Carl is the gender-swapped ancestor of Carol Rockburn, later Oldie. However, his mom is pregnant again, and maybe his status as gender-swapped ancestor will vanish when the actual Carol is born. Lastly, the comparison of hair color between the 2 generations. And like before, there is no surprise that the black hair color is dominant. 6 babies managed to inherit it. Then there are 3 brown-haired babies and 1 blonde one. Red is missing, though there are only 2 Sims who can give that red hair genetics to the future generation. Les wife Kinder is still pregnant with their first child. Kinder is black-haired and will probably give this dominant color to her child, though red will be recessive. And Irma got pregnant and we have to wait for her child to be born. Her husband is blonde, so there is a 50-50 chance that we will have a visible red-haired herb oldie. For now, that's all for the genetics aspect of this video, though I am super curious how the fully in-game born Generation 2 will look like. There will be definitely an update video coming. However, one thing that can be shown in a diagram is the distribution of the aspirations. This is only showing the 5 main aspirations which came with the base game. So pleasure and grilled cheese are missing. Though these are not my favorite aspirations and it might be that I won't give that to any in-game born teen. I am really pleased with the distribution of the aspirations. There are both 8 Sims with fortune and knowledge, followed by 7 Sims with the family one. 5 Sims with romance, this is still much in my opinion, and only 3 Sims with popularity. However, I am fine with the 3 popularity Sims. This aspiration for me is mostly fun in combination with another aspiration, though I have only given the studied Sims, crumble bottoms and goths a secondary aspiration. That means most Sims have only the main aspiration. I wanted to get to know them a bit better before deciding. Next are hobbies, and though there are a lot of hobbies with only 1 Sim in it, I find it very interesting how popular some hobbies are. The leading hobby is sports with 9 Sims, that makes nearly 1/3 of the population. This doesn't wonder me at all and makes sense for this hood. There is Les Pleasant, the only Sim in the sports career. Story-wise, he is the local baseball player, though I guess most Sims in town are very proud of their local baseball talent and are probably cheering him on while visiting his place. The next bigger hobby is arts and crafts, followed by tinkering, then nature and music. Only science isn't showing up, so we have to wait for Generation 2 to maybe get this hobby established. While introducing the beginning hood and its families in the last 5 videos, I will give you an overview about the already born babies and current pregnancies. For this challenge, the 15 families need to give birth to 17 needed ancestors. The goths need to have 2 children, a boy and a girl. The crumble bottoms need to have 2 girls. All of the other families only need 1 baby. With 1925 completed, there are 10 babies born. However, not every baby is the needed ancestor. So far, we have 3 babies that have the right gender to continue the challenge. Delilah DeRong, Bob Jr. Newbie and Peggy Sims. Then there are 5 gender-swapped ancestors which might stay in the challenge if there is the right counterpart born, or might lose the status as gender-swapped ancestor because of another born sibling. The gender-swapped ancestors are Beatrice Burb, who should be Brad Burb, Albert Crumblebottom for Agnes Crumblebottom, Dale Denders should be Diane Denders, Daisy Dreamer for Davis Dreamer, and Carl Ruckburn for Carol Ruckburn. I will show you in a minute if it is foreseeable what happens to them or if some known names will vanish or not. Additional Sims are Mary Newby, the twin sister of Bob Jr. Newby, and Clifford Ruckburn, who was the second attempt to get Carol Ruckburn. 7 women are pregnant at the end of 1925, which means at least 7 more babies in the next 2 rounds. These are Enriqueta Batchelor, Dacia Dreamer with the second child, Alice Jones, Irma Oldie, Kinda Pleasant, Mommy Ruckburn with the 3rd child, and Fatima Simowicz. There are 2 families who haven't produced a baby yet, nor is there any pregnancy, the Goths and the Mars. For these 2 families it is the goal to get pregnant by the next 1 or 2 years. So, who do we need to get born to continue with the challenge? For this sake I show you the family trees with the 1st and 2nd generation on it. We start with the Goth family, which will be connected to the Crumble Bottoms in Generation 2, and later on with the Bachelors. Victor and Gretel need to have a girl, Frida, and a boy, Gunther, both not born yet. To continue the challenge, only Gunther is really needed, though Frida has her own storyline and won't continue with the family tree. The crumble bottoms need 2 girls, Agnes and Cornelia, though here we also only need Cornelia to continue the family tree. She will marry Gunther Goff. For Agnes we have a gender-swapped ancestor, Albert. The bachelors need Simmers to be born, and Riquetta is currently pregnant. Next is the big Pleasant family tree, which connects the most families yet, and is connected to the Burbs, the Marsh, the Denders, Oldies and Ruckburns. The Burbs have borne Beatrice, gender swapped for Brad. Her counterpart at the Marsh family is still missing. Benjamin and Susan could try to get a boy, or the Marsh will have a boy, then the popular last name Burb might die out. This is still in the future. The Pleasants will be connected to the Denders through the 2nd generation. Kinder is still pregnant, the Denders have a gender-swapped ancestor Dale. No need to worry until we have the Pleasant baby. The Oldies need to have Herb born, the Ruckburns need to have Coral, though this family tried twice and got 2 boys. Irma on the other hand is pregnant with their first child, and when the baby is born we will see if a Coral is still needed. The Dreamers have a smaller family tree for now and will be connected to the Durongs. However, the Durongs managed to have the needed ancestor and got Delilah. So the Dreamers got Daisy as gender-swapped ancestor and did try to get pregnant again. So hopefully Davis will be born soon. The last bigger family tree contains the Broke family. However, the Brokes will arrive to Pleasantview in round about 20 till 25 years. Other families like the Simowicz, the Newbys, the Jones and Sims will be connected to them. Here we managed to have 2 needed ancestors born and no gender-swapped ones. 2 babies are still needed and both Simowicz and Jones are currently pregnant. Well, that was a lot of information and I hope I was able to provide this data as easily as possible. At this point I would really like to know what your thoughts are, so please leave a comment and maybe, if you are nerdy like I am, we can discuss this furthermore. The Generation 1 families have still a lot to do to provide the next generation, and still the family trees will grow with all the additional siblings, which makes more sense to me. We won't have only ancestors with only 1 child that marries into another family. However, I started to design the city Moonlight Falls and plan to have all the additional Sims living there, so the needed ancestors will live in the bubble of Pleasantview. I will now get to work on the 1926 video and I see you there. Bye!